So Link, thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
You are going to be performing at our Vulva and Vagina open mic, art exhibit open mic, on Friday, June the 5th from 5 to 8. There'll be some time in that time. And I wanted to understand a little bit more about your art modality, about how you came into this work. You call yourself MissConduct.
Yes.
So how did that come about?
It was given to me by someone that I don't really have ties with anymore, and that's okay because, like, you know, I think it's a really cool name. I think it really encapsulates, like, my alternativeness, I guess would be the way to say it. Like, I'm such a different person, and I don't know, yeah.
So when you say alternativeness, what do you mean by that?
Like punk energy, like, I do what I want because I want to do it, in every way that's, like, you know, positive and all that kind of stuff, but, like, basically saying fuck the system, fuck gender, fuck, like, all that kind of stuff. So I am my own person.
So it's irreverent on the concept of conduct?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, so it's kind of trying to deconstruct what it means to be conducting.
Yes.
Okay. And so how long have you been doing drag?
Been doing drag for just over 6 years now. I started, like, maybe right when the pandemic happened, so I had quite a lot of time to, how do I want to say it, like, well-round myself, like, to, like, this is exactly what I want to do, this is not what I want to be wearing, this is not how I want to be doing this feels the most comfortable. I realized that I'm not just a drag queen, I'm a drag monster, so I like to do a lot of things that are very outside the box, that, like, it's not, like, about gender, it transcends gender, it's more about, like either demonic energy or, like, horror or things like that.
And when you're expressing yourself, what are you thinking? Are you acting? Are you performing? Are you doing soul expression? Are you doing a deep dive into something?
Kind of, actually, like, all of that. There are times where I want to invoke a specific feeling and really bring out, like, I don't want the audience to be comfortable. I want them to really sit and think with things. Like, last week I did, it was the Glamour and Glitch Burlesque and Drag Show, and I did a recreation of Sinead O'Connor's ripping up the picture of the Pope, but I did it with Donald Trump, and it was more, I'm realizing that night, it was all like, oh, like, everyone's so, like, sexy and sultry and, like, fun, but I'm like, I kind of want to shift the mood for a second, kind of remind people, like, this is what's going on in the world right now, and we need to, like, stand together and stand up against the things that try to bring us down.
It reminds me a little bit of the Met Gala. So the Met Gala tends to be very performative. It tends to have people who are in a higher economic strata, out of touch with the vast majority of us, and they tend to often be very out of touch with real life.
Yep.
And so your disruption is designed to remind us all that beyond the glitz and the glamour, there are some real oppressions happening, there are real violations of human rights at the domestic level, at the international level. Is that what you're reminding?
100%.
And so, as someone who does drag, what does the ripping up of Donald Trump's image mean for you?
For me, it's just like, these people don't need to have power over us. They don't need to control us. That he quite literally is evil. That, you know, like Sinead O'Connor said, fight the real enemy. And people, like, I don't want to give him that much credit, because it's not just him. It's the people who follow him. It's his administration. Not just in, like, the States, it's all over the world. It's, well, finally somebody who thinks like the rest of us, and it's like, no, we don't think that way. We don't want what's worse for people. We don't want to hate, hurt, or discriminate against people. Those who do, it's, you know, it's disgusting. Like, I don't even know how to really, like, get into that, where it's like, why would somebody feel so inclined to feel like a specific group of people, or specific people in general, should just not exist?
Yes. So you're filing against the erasure.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you do drag, you have been doing this for 6 years. Has it changed over that time?
I feel like it has. When I really started, it was, okay, we're in the pandemic, we want to be around people, we want people to be in our face. we kind of couldn't have that for a solid year. So I think people really started to, well, one, they started to get really creative. Like, what if I could put together a character? Like, because I feel like Drag Race really, it was, okay, well, what are we going to watch? We're going to watch, what was it, The Tiger King. We're going to watch, like, Drag Race, where it's like, this is really creative. This is people who we really get to see their creative minds, whether it's them making their own stuff, or I have this idea that somebody else can make for me, because, like, I'm not the best with sewing myself, but I know how to design, so, like, you know, hey, this is the idea that I have. Can you please like make this for me? And
do you ask your friends?
I have my drag sister Elixir, who she's currently making me a couple outfits, but
Amazing.
she makes like 90% of my stuff. Where I like make a couple things and I buy a couple things here and there, but like we wouldn't have MissConduct without her.
She's a phenom.
Yeah.
Yes. So you are. I've seen you do your drag performance many times actually, and I just find. It's interesting because you are balancing yourself basically on a stiletto that doesn't have a heel, that is like a ballet slipper but not a ballet slipper. Did you have to work out to learn how to do that?
Genuinely, I learned how to do that like in a carpeted basement. Like, I found the heel I find is actually a little bit more uncomfortable because it is a bit of a balancing act when you're standing, but when you're walking, you're just kind of walking on tiptoe. So I used to run around the house like just like on my tiptoes running around. So I think I sort of channeled that a little bit with that. Right. But yeah, they're like my most comfortable pair of shoes, oddly enough.
So where have you performed?
Between like Windsor and Oshawa, I've performed in Toronto, I've performed in Hamilton. I love to perform in KW. I feel like, you know, I get to see a lot of the people that come to my shows often, like, because I work in Ferry Park Mall, so sometimes it's like, I'll see people like, oh yeah, I saw like your show a couple months ago or something. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But I've performed in all different venues, theaters, bars. I'm trying to think, like, we were supposed to do one in a Masonic temple, but I'm trying to think of like where I've had like the coolest events, like in the way of like places. Like Tri Pride's really cool, where I get to do it in Willow River Park. I get to you know, perform for my community that way. But like where like
Unitarian Church.
Yeah, in a church, like. Which they're amazing. They're super nice people.
Yeah, they are,
so,
for sure.
Yeah.
So is there a favorite place for you? Like, can you think of something that just really stands out for you?
TWB, which
what is that?
It's called Together We're Bitter Brewing, and so it's a little like
it's so small.
It is. So they've got like a little outside patio where we can like, you know, fit 75 to 100 people, give or take. So it's really nice, and we've, you know, knock on wood, we've never had a day where we've had to reschedule because of rain or anything like that. But yeah, it's a really sweet place. They're all about community. They pay their staff living wages. So
nice.
Really nice people.
Okay, and then the other question I have is, like, who inspires you? Are there performers, other artists that really inspire you, that help you to feel more grounded, more confident, more like artistic?
I'd say like there's quite a few. Locally, I'd have to say people like Molly Kuehl, my drag sister Elixir, people who really like make me feel welcome, make me feel comfortable enough and validated enough to do just different things. Like, not just to be like a drag queen, but to be a drag monster, to do like just things that are completely outside the box. And then like internationally, or like, you know, on TV, my favorite drag queen is Eva Destruction. So she was on Dragula, which is sort of like Drag Race, but think like Fear Factor, Gothic, Halloween, like all that kind of stuff. She was on it like 3 times. She finally won it. I love her. She's great.
What do you love about her?
She's like exactly what I want to be. Like, she's alternative, but she's like, you know what, I'm hairy as fuck, like I can just do what I want because this is how I like to do it, this is what makes me feel comfortable. So there are things that I'm like, you know, I don't want to wear tights, I don't want to do like breasts, I want to be a woman the way that I see myself being a woman, or being a monster the way that I see myself being a monster.
Okay, so I understand that doing drag can be a very liberating experience. Yeah. Can you explain what is liberating about it?
For me, like, I have horrible anxiety. I feel like I never really got out of it until drag really started, where I'm like, okay, like, getting in front of people, I'm bolting or I'm doing this, so being able to do it and really like, you know, this is how I see myself performing this song, and I see myself kind of doing it like in a music video form. But sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. What was the question again?
What was the question? Sorry, what is liberating about
I think it's just like being able to do something that you see yourself doing, to just like let your creative mind go and just like, no, like I feel amazing just doing this. This is like one of my favorite songs. I'm wearing like clothing that I've like always wanted to wear. Like, I don't know, I always thought like growing up as a guy, why can't I wear a dress? Why can't I like, you know, have long hair or like wear something that like just looks totally outlandish, like something with spikes all over or like something like that.
So it's liberating in the sense that you can express yourself. You also have a bunch of textures.
Yeah.
And then also you have the demonic, you have the sort of the contours of horror mixed in. You have horns sometimes that you're wearing. Like, do you feel like, I think of Legend, you know, like the movie Legend from 1980.
Such a good movie.
Okay, I'm sorry, that's such a cliche for you probably at this point.
I mean,
right?
like, it's kind of where Zelda comes from, so.
Yeah, okay, but it's a little bit like that, but still different.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Because like that, the one I do specifically is like the Krampus that I made around Christmas, but I'm like, why don't we do this like a year-round thing? Because it's just black fur and black horns. Because before it was, I tried to dye like a blonde wig, green and red, and it turned out not looking like those colors. But I made like a skirt out of wrapping paper, and like I wrapped like a harness and did all that kind of stuff. I had nipple pasties that were stars that had bells on them. Like, it was kind of random in a cute kind of way, but I'm like, I want to just be super ferocious, demonic, fierce, like to just kind of like bring that energy of like, I like when people like, there are people like, oh yeah, it's like she looks so beautiful, but I love the, what the is that? Like, what am I looking at? That's my favorite reaction.
I have a question for you then. So disruption, I think, is a big theme that's coming out of what you're doing. Now, disruption can be exciting. It can be profound. You can see people's reactions and go, I love watching people react that way. Can it also be tiring? Like when you're disrupting a people and you feel like you are disrupting so much that you sometimes just want to be in pajama bottoms and, you know, not disrupting. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like kind of like, I think it really depends on the people who are in the audience, because there are some people who like, they just look at you like,
why do they look at you like that?
I think like it's something different. Like, oh well, I was expecting to see, you know, like people doing jump splits and looking, you know, like bodysuits, like long big hair, and it's like, no, actually you're being forced to watch this show, or you can fully leave. Like, I don't know, you don't have to stay. But like, I want to give something that not a lot of people see. And I think a majority of the time I do get that, like, because you're so different, I have this appreciation for it. Like, I appreciate what you're doing. Some of my favorite comments are like from like the straight metalhead guys, like, yo, I didn't know that there was like rock queens and things like that. And I'm like, hell yeah, like, why not? And they're like, yeah, I guess so. I guess you could kind of just do whatever. So,
you're
like,
showing the bounds of what's possible.
Exactly. I like to give the people like what they want sometimes and do like, you know, sultry woman, or like just to be like, you know, fierce on the runway kind of thing. But I'm like, I also love to be like, give that riot girl energy, like, and to just like, yeah, the whole like demonic thing. Oh my god, there's somebody in town who kind of has the joke of like, it's sort of like a non-binary joke, like, when playing house, it wasn't like I didn't want to be the mom or the dad, I want to be the dog. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of relate to that. Like, something about the demons or like the monsters in like shows, movies, stories. Like, I feel like a lot of like queer people like connect with them, because it's like, well, these are the people that like, you know, maybe they are not the worst thing in the world. Maybe it's like, you know, they're misunderstood, or they look really cool. Like, I don't know, I always love the villain, like Rita Repulsa in Power Rangers, or like, I don't remember his name, but in Legend, like, he was like so cool, where I'm like, oh my god, like, oh, cool, awesome.
So the horns, the shoes, the clothes, all of that takes creative impulse and creative prowess.
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm going to use a mask.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? But then there's also the makeup.
Yes.
So how do you decide how you're going to do your makeup? Who does your makeup, and how long does it take you?
I do my own makeup. It takes anywhere between an hour and a half to 3 hours.
No
depending.
kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it takes a while. Like usually at that 2 hour mark, I'm like, okay, I've been doing this for like, this long. I'm getting tired of, sometimes I'm still working on my eyes. It's a lot of work in progress. We used to do like makeup nights. My drag sis and I used to live in the same house, and we used to just invite certain drag performers like, hey, let's work on like blocking our brows, which is like when you're kind of gluing them down and like trying to really hide them. Or let's work on eyeliner because I have hooded eyes, so I can't just do a wing and have it look like it's just like a straight line. I have to almost bat wing it, like kind of, yeah, like I guess like in a bat wing shape where when my eyes open, it fully looks like a wing. So it's a lot of trial and error. Sometimes it was, I really like the way that this queen does her jaw. I like the way that this one does their contour, their blush, their nose contour, and I started just sort of like taking certain things from certain people, like Eva Destruction, like her, like how I do my jaw is like how she does her jaw, where I'm like, no, I really like this, but there are other things where I'm like, no, I've adopted like the way I do my nose contour, I feel is like a lot different than other people. Like I do the nostrils the same way that other people do, but like my nose contour, like with the inverted cross, or like I love doing like the ticks through like my eyebrows, where I'll typically do like an X and 3 ticks, so it's a Roman numeral for 13, just like edgy number.
I ran out of
Oh, is that what that was?
But so that is so fascinating. So you actually are as someone who doesn't really wear a lot of makeup, you're putting layers and layers to do different things. It's like a landscape. You're starting with the background, and then you're going more and more and more forward, right?
Yeah, it's like more than full coverage in my opinion. Like it's layer upon layer upon layer of like full coverage, and then it's like, okay, well, we're gonna do some gel eyeliner and then put some liquid over top of that. But under all that, it's like we've done like a full cut crease of like eyeshadow that's got like 4 different shades of green, or like with black in it as well. So I feel like it's a big work in progress. I typically like map out my face, like, okay, this is like I've got a protruding brow bone, so I gotta remember how, like when I come up on that, I'm like moving the line a little bit this way, and like just trying to do things like that. I feel like I'm not even like really looking at my face anymore. I'm like, it's almost like painting by numbers. Like it's kind of one of those kind of things, like, okay, this color's gonna go here, this line's gonna go here. You mess up here and there and you work with it, but yeah.
And do you get the top of the line makeup? Do you get the medium of the line makeup? What kind of makeup do you get?
I try not to get top of the line too much because, so foundation, for example, I have to use a lot of it at a time. So the foundation that I use, a brand called Juvia's Place, they're typically like, I'll get them for like $10, and it's like a big, thick, full coverage foundation stick, and then I just blend that out. And one of those lasts me maybe 20 shows depending, but yeah.
Okay, wow. So you're going to be performing. We're really we're really looking forward. Thank you. And yeah, I'm so intrigued by your art form, and I'm really excited to see you again perform.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see what you're going to come out and do.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And thank you for, will be having me.